You know what it's like when you talk too much? Um,
TDS could never relate. That's why Gromp can relate.
that's why Gromp's here. Gromp never says shit. That's Gromp knows what it's like.
Gromp's always on vocal rest.
Yeah. All right. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Salt Mine. This is Season 3, Episode 11. We'll
Damn,
keep it
you
on
nailed it for
Season
once.
3. We'll keep it on Season 3 until the preseason power rankings. I think that's a good, clean cutoff for each season. So, we're a little bit between seasons right now, but we still got ACL to cover. Shout out to ACL up there in the corner. We got a little bit of other news around the scene to talk about. And I think we're just going to keep it going with shorter, more casual episodes until we wrap up ACL. And then by the time we wrap up ACL, it'll probably be about time to get started with NACL again. So got ourselves in a nice, sweet spot where we can just keep the YouTube channel active for the algorithm over the course of the next couple of weeks, at least during the MSI period. I'm Gordo. I'm joined by Slayer. We got Gromp on again this week because we still don't have a two-person asset, and TDS couldn't make it, and nobody else could really make it either. And
You know what I just realized?
It's a little short and informal of an episode to have like a real guest on. What's up?
Yeah, but so I actually realized we technically do have a two-person asset because we got graphics made for the casts. So technically, I should have just given you the caster desk asset from the GSL stage coverage.
Maybe.
So technically, we do have a two-man asset, but I also kind of don't want to kick Gromp off anymore. It's kind of a mainstay.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's also like they're visually different than our regular.
That's true.
Our thumbnail game's gonna be all off.
True.
That's not that bad though. I don't know. We'll see. I could also just hit up Emma and ask for a two-person asset, but that feels like admitting defeat because I want to try to have 3 people on most weeks when we can. But either way, we're here with 2 people, and that's fine because it'll probably be like a shorter, more casual episode anyways. Let's start off with news. I mean, first things first, I'm sure anybody who watches this show has already found out on Twitter and stuff, but our friends over at Salty Runback are doing a GoFundMe. It's a GoFundMe, right? It's not a Kickstarter?
Yes.
Okay. I donated to it, but I don't remember what company I gave my money to. I think it's a GoFundMe. They're doing a GoFundMe for doing their own CLOL broadcast because Collegiate League of Legends is not going to be running their own broadcast for anywhere up until the grand finals. Opinions on that aside, it's a great effort from them. All your favorite casters are going to be involved, and they deserve your money, and they need a little bit more to get the full top 32. They've already hit enough to fund top 16 at this point. They need like 2K more or something to get up to the full top 32. So we'll put them in the description. Go throw them some money if you can. It'll be very short notice. It'll be like Friday when this comes out, and CLOL will be starting the next day. So if you're listening to this right now on the day it came out, go donate to Salty Runback and get that broadcast going so that there could be CLOL streams tomorrow at the time that you're listening to this.
Yeah, so they're $3,240 off at this point. So which sounds like which is a lot of money, but like you mentioned, compared to what they've raised, and I guess we could say as a community have raised, it is $10,250, and they need the final 2,000. Whatever I just said. You guys just heard what I just said. I'm not good at math. We don't do numbers on casts. I don't like to do numbers on podcast episodes either. So, but it is just so cool. Like with the year we've had around esports, to see something like this come together at the end of spring split. I guess we'll call it for like CLOL championships. All this, tier 3 we've covered, NACL, to see them all come together. And I think the most fun part, as much as I like how much money the community raised, is the fact that Gen G is now involved.
That's true.
Which is super cool. Which does mean that I now, as much as I love T1, I feel obligated, unless NA is involved, to cheer for Gen G in most competitions.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think the only commentary that I really have about this is like, it is like I think what almost adds to the frustration is that all this money gets raised, right? A lot of it is, CLOL coaches and stuff showing their support and everything, which, that's great. Love those guys. More power to them. But I think between the Gen G sponsorship and like Ole Miss is now like an official sponsor as well, and all the different coaches you could see contributing money out of their own pockets, I think it all just tells you that like if who even runs CLOL now? What's that company called?
GG Tech.
Yeah,
GG
like if
Tech.
GG Tech had just come out with this like 5 months ago and was like, "Hey, this is going to be the situation," I bet you could like raise even more money in a
Oh
much more
yeah.
structured way, where like it's not Andrew Howe and Benjamin Hawkins like scrambling to do it between the two of them in like
Yep.
a week. Like it could like this like you could have gotten in a much, and this isn't like to disregard the effort they're doing or anything, but it's like you definitely could have like found the resources if you just like let everybody know with a reasonable amount of time, because you have a ton of well-funded public universities. Like they would have, a lot of which are giving out substantially more money in scholarships than it takes to run this broadcast. And if they
Yeah.
care enough about like having a good collegiate League of Legends team to give out those scholarships, surely they care enough that a broadcast for them is present to, throw a very small percentage of the money over towards getting a broadcast. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. So, I mean, it sucks
Well,
that it's come to this, but it's awesome that
yeah.
we've been able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I always, in a lot of things, I mean, this isn't even to be an esports. At this point, it's not even an esports take. I believe transparency is a great way to go about life. Transparency and honesty, and there's not a lot of it in a lot of corporations, unfortunately, involved around League of Legends esports right now. So, just piggyback off what you're saying, GG Tech, they could have phrased it as like, yeah, I mean, what negative reaction would they have gotten if they had just been like, yeah, here's the deal. I mean, we don't have the funding right now to put this on for you guys. Like,
They
what
still would have
people are
gotten
gonna
a
be like,
decent amount of shit, and they would deserve it, because it's like, what are you even
yeah,
bidding on this for? Like, what have you done?
yeah,
Why?
but silence is just this silence. The silence they
Yeah,
did in doubling down is okay. All right,
yeah,
so now you're just asking for hellfire to come at you. I don't know.
true,
It-
true, true.
it- at this point, I don't think there's much point having. I know we haven't talked about this platform, which is why we're having this discussion now. But I think at this point in the general space, I don't really want to even give this conversation much more of my attention and like upsetness, because there's nothing they're going to do to change it, and they frankly don't deserve us even like worrying about them. If that's harsh, that's the reality. So at least something good came out of it. Is what we're going to lead with.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally fair, and I think it's a good point. Um, what else is in the news? We had the Running the Rift Combine over all of last week, so that's why we didn't have an
7
episode
days.
last week, because we were doing Running the Rift. Everybody involved in this show, even regular guests on this show, we're all doing Running the Rift. Um, so that has been what we've all been spending some time on. It was a great event. Had like a couple hundred of North American prospects all coming in together to play in a combine. All those different lobbies, all those different games were a great joy to cover. Got a little bit of Twitter drama, like any good event will, and maybe hurling some stuff around, maybe besmirching the Slayer name a little bit, Slayer, as
Listen, I turned that negative into a positive. All right, I engagement farmed it with a quote tweet. And it
yeah,
got
that's
that
fair.
was so funny though when that got pointed out, because I remember I read the doc. Like I didn't even like look at the Twitter account. I was just like I found it. I'm like, I saw thoughts on Running the Rift. I just immediately read the Google Doc, and then after I read it was when I think you told me. It was like, wait, it's like your name is being dragged through the mud. Is this your alt account? I'm like, oh my god, no way.
Yeah,
So
that's unfortunate. Your alt account's name is your throwaway account's name is also Slayer. That would be
yeah, well, Slayer ints, like that's like, and
yeah,
that could make sense
that's
because like,
true.
look, it's a burner, it's my int account, yeah, but I technically I guess it doesn't besmirch it too much because that person was only the messenger. So.
Yeah, like that means a
Whatever,
whole
man.
lot.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that was a fun little interaction. I will yeah, I don't know. I think there's some goofy stuff going on. That tweet like made some very legitimate criticisms, I think, on minor issues, and
Yeah.
then turned that into a conclusion that did not follow from those criticisms at all.
Ugh.
So that
And
was
I just remember, like you're right. Like there was some like valid points about like minor issues. Running Rift, they even the stat like sure everybody knew like this was not going to go like
yeah,
100%.
like it was a little
Nothing.
disorganized, and maybe there
Yeah,
wasn't a lot of transparency with the lobbies, and
yeah.
there's there's some
But the
professionalism concerns. Yeah, fair enough.
yeah,
And it's like it just lists out those three things. Some of my players got invited late, and it's like okay, it's like yeah, so
all right.
clearly this whole event is a fraud. It's, it's
Oh,
like
dude,
whoa.
and then like the screenshot of of Melania like openly admitting to nepotism, like cropping it just to only put her one line. But if anybody knows Melania, like she loves to joke around. Yeah, like she's all the time like making funny jokes, being sarcastic, and then Melania posts the full thing where you can obviously see everybody she typed that to was reacting like, oh, okay, like nepotism, haha, it's a joke, it's a play on that she's picking people she likes, and but of course you have to crop the screenshot to make it look like there's actually nepotism going.
Yeah.
It was just once I saw that screenshot, I was like, oh man, you're about to you're about to get flamed, and boy did they get flamed.
Yeah, no. I mean, so here's the thing, right? The best devil's advocacy I could do here, and it's not even advocacy really, but it's I can say and I've said this separately before. The slightest of criticisms to be given, uh, or any of these criticisms, right, that end up coming on through, you could see how like if you aren't super in the know, right? If you don't have if you aren't mutuals with everybody, if you don't have all the contacts like who are involved in the combine and talk to players and casters and staff members and everybody the way that we do, and you just kind of see like players complain about not getting the right lobbies, and then coaches and staff all shout them down and say, stop whining about it. It's making you look bad. And then this guy comes out and makes this post complaining about it. Everybody says you're a dumbass. Stop posting about this. You can kind of see. You could almost see how somebody who's not really talking to people could think that these complaints and stuff aren't being heard, but they are, right? Like people
Yeah,
know what the issues were and they're working on them, and it's yeah, like I don't think these were very well delivered in the slightest, and I think that definitely hurts things a little bit. And I will also say I remember when this was announced, the announcement was like, we're going to do this instead of having all these different combines every season. And it's like, I mean, guys, the reason everybody does their own small focused combines is to dodge some of these issues of like, we have 200 players and not enough staff and everybody's in the wrong lobby and the lobbies are imbalanced. And it's like, yeah. Dude, this is why orgs always have and will continue to do small focused combines with like 20 players. Like it's running the Rift is not a replacement for all these things. I don't think I hope no players or staff or anybody walk away thinking that. And because it's a community run thing, it's great to have. It's not the be all end all. It's not that serious. All these things. It will be better next time, I'm sure, as learnings are taken away. This stuff got way too crazy.
yeah, it got way too crazy. And I don't even think like I even got to hear some players' reactions to like the lobby stuff in those because I'm sure you did a lot of interviews after some of these lobbies, but I got to talk to a lot of people, and I'm going to shout out one player in particular because one, he's a great guy to just chat with. Two, I think he's kind of leveling up every split. Three, he's a part of a darling ACL team. So, haha, I tied it into this. It's Paragon. Paragon, I got to talk to Paragon, who started in Lobby 6, and he won Polestar MVP after like the second day in Lobby 6, and he came on. He's like, yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be in Lobby 6, but he's like, but I have to play the games I have to play, and like I'll show, and if I play well, I'll move up. And where did Paragon end up? Lobby 2. He was in Lobby 2 by the end of the whole thing, which was cool to see because I like Paragon a lot. But also, the other thing about the lobbies is like, I think it was Command Attack or TJ, whichever one it is.
TJ Command Attack is the same guy.
Yeah. Whichever name, I don't think he cares too much. But he tweeted out, he's like, guys, this combine, like, we can watch VODs of you playing, like, to see your mechanics, to see like your macro decisions. Like, for those coaches and for players, this was like to get the personality check. And I thought that was like a great point. Like, we can teach you how to fix, like, coaches can teach you how to fix macro mistakes, even like micro mistakes and mechanics. Like, they can help put you on a pedestal to get better at those. This combine was mostly to see, can I coach you? And like, are you able to work in a team environment? Because you can't do that, you're going nowhere. So I like, that's why the lobby stuff is even silly to me. It's like, it doesn't even really matter what level of competition, because there were like LCS level coaches and NACL scouts, GMs, and coaches that were in, like, that looked into every lobby at points, like 1 through 7. So I don't know. It was silly. I'm glad that it didn't. I'm glad it didn't get too out of control. I feel like everybody landed on the narratives we're talking about pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so to end off RTR on a positive and more fun note, any particular players that stood out to you, Slayer, that you wanna get yourself on the record praising before they pop off next split?
Yeah, I mean, so I thought a lot of the St. Clair guys looked really good and started moving up. You'll remember this name. He's officially he went by Quack Slice when we used to cast him.
Oh,
And then,
this guy.
Yeah. So he's going by Quick Slice now.
Okay.
He really impressed me. And he moved up in the lobbies quickly. He was in lobby 3. He played really well. Obviously, I'm going to say Paragon. I thought Paragon did pretty well. They're also having a pretty good run with Cloud Gaming, the ACL. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. And I'm actually just going to pull the lobbies up just so I can refresh myself, because I don't want to butcher any of this. I thought, yeah. So I'll leave the one guy that I know we both were told was popping off. I think you'll mention him later in the 80 carry role. Guys like Trinket from OC Esports looked really good. I thought Maddie looked really good. That's one of the St. Clair junglers. Sour Cream, who was Sour Cream. I'm capping.
Sour Cream is
nodal. Sour Cream is nodal. He's going by Sour Cream again. Nigel's last tiles top laner. He was really impressed. Yeah, I know. He told me in an interview. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
He pressed really well. Nigel's last tiles, who they got top 12, which was really cool.
Nodal's another guy, or Sour Cream, I guess now, is another guy who was in like Masters leagues before too. He was in like Risen Divine League back in the day.
Yep. So Sour Cream, and then this is one I've been tripling down on this guy for a while, but Devin really impressed me in the one game I got to see from him. I think hope to see Devin end up on a really good team, because I think Devin has the ceiling, maybe not as high as Samikin, but it'd be really cool to see, because that's the friend group, is like Devin, Samikin, Solidified, Low Jazz, and then Phantom Star. I think that's the 5 guys that love playing together, but they got split up because like Samikin's in the NACL now. It'd be so cool if like Devin makes a great run on a great roster in summer. It's like, wow, 2 of the 5 guys from the friend group are NACL bound. So those are a couple of names that you'll watch out for, but I honestly missed a ton of great players as well. So
very nice, very nice. Yeah, I think ones that stand out to me, I was really impressed by Mixture. I think he really stood out to me, and I know it's like, this might be like late news, right? Because he was on Lotus. They very nearly made promotion tournament. But I had to see him in a couple of games in Lobby 1. He was like, he was also like, I don't know what he finished in. Hang on, wait. I think I got the stats here, actually. Player stats. Mixture. He went 7-3. So he had like a crazy win rate. He was like 4-0 or 5-0 or 6-0 or something when I got to him. Yeah, he just had a fantastic run of it. He was really good in like Lobby 1 and stuff. So I was really, really impressed by him. And the other one, I think this is who you referred to earlier, was Thomas. Yeah, Thomas popped up straight out of solo queue in the Supernova Combine, which I covered the weekend before running the Rift. That he was like the best AD carry there. Like he was the best performing AD carry in that 2-day combine or 3-day combine, and that was in an event that had like an Ori B and Levitate and guys like that in it. He just said I think Sushi was the last one. I hope I'm not wrong on that.
I heard Sushi was very good though as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. These other guys weren't like bad. But yeah, I don't know. He like I expected him to be like the 20th best player out of the 20 players in that combine, and he was not. He was very, very good. Think Card was really, really impressed with him too. We had Think Card there all 3 days, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, can't believe how good this guy is straight out of solo queue." I believe he started in lobby 6 and running the Rift, and ended up working his way up to lobby 2 by the end as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I hope he plays in OQs in summer. This is a very interesting guy to have an eye on. Yeah, he's doing very well right out of the gate.
Yeah, Alk Battery, I want to shout him out. He was telling me as well about Thomas before we talked about him. Like, this guy's... Also, really quickly, I forgot from another Lobby 6 guy. Speaking, I'm going to only do this because we're talking about guys straight from solo queue. CK, this really young kid, or guy, whichever one, he had a nasty Azir play. Like, straight out of solo queue, this guy's like a challenger peaker. Jumped right into these lobbies and was like smurfing them. So I know I talked to CK after the win, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just playing this to see what it's like, feel it out. I don't really have any expectations, but I hope that at the very least they try and get on a team for ACL summer because I was impressed."
Very nice. All right. Well, yeah, would love to see that. Yeah, would love to see some of these guys in ACL summer. Yeah, hope everybody had a good time, and yeah, hope everybody comes out next time because we definitely had some banger games in there. All right. Well, with that, let's move on to Aegis Champions League. The last time we talked about Aegis, we were just setting up the playoffs. We did our playoffs preview. We are now down to top 9. We'll be at top 8 before too long. It's just at time of recording. BlackRock Esports versus UCI Varsity has not been played in the lower brackets, so we don't know which of them is making top 8. Other than that, we know 7 out of the top 8s, and then just BlackRock and UCI are dangling out there. But let's rewind. Let's talk about round 1 to start things off, and how this one played out. So, out of the round of 16, mostly expected results. Our big upsets are all in the top quadrant. South Florida gets a 2-0 win over UCI off a forfeit. So bold move there by UCI Varsity to forfeit round 1. Not recommended. We'll see if it pays off for them. So far, it's been okay. And Team Fish Taco taking the 2-over over Maryville B team, which is something we voiced as a possibility, and that possibility seems to be coming true. So Team Fish Taco, they take that 2-0. They take a 2-0 over University of South Florida, maybe a little bit of an easier matchup than they would have expected in their upper quarterfinals. And now they're in upper semifinals. They're in top 8. They're locked top 6. They will get a best of 5. How are you feeling about this team?
Yeah, I mean, there were one of two ways to see how Team Fish Taco would play it out, and we got the more positive one. I know I casted the TFT Maryville B matchup with TDS. It was not close, man. Like, 2-0 sometimes would be like, okay, you won like a 45-minute game and a 49-minute game. Like, congrats. A couple team fights, this is a different series. No, this was just a bodying. Game 1 was a little back and forth, but no, after that it was just smooth sailing. And really was impressed by the composure from Sudsy. Also, it's always so funny to watch Tony Top play League of Legends. Dude is just like turbo aggressive no matter what his score line is. He'll be like splitting 1v2, about to get flanked. He's like, doesn't matter, I'm gonna fight. I'll find a way to fight out of it. I think he played a Fiora game in game 1. He was the only one that was behind, but like he just kept giga pushing side lanes that like they had to send 2 people after them. And while he did keep dying and the score line wasn't great, it worked because the rest of the TFT were just taking whatever the map gave them because Maryville couldn't really answer. So, like you mentioned, maybe like of momentum conversation, not really what we expected that matchup to be, but it certainly was always there for TFT to put it together with the roster they had, and they're doing it so far.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing about this quadrant, right, is so Maryville B team, I believe, drop out of this tournament with the unluckiest bracket draw in history. I've ever
Oh
heard of in any
yeah,
kind of elimination tournament, a double elimination tournament ever, because they draw
yeah.
third seed Team Fish Taco in round one, which is like, oh, Team Fish Taco. They forfeited a game. They went 4-2, so they get third seed, and it's a tough matchup for Maryville. And then they drop down and they play against UCI Varsity because UCI forfeited their first round. They
Oh
lose
god.
2-1 and they're out of the ACL, baby. I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But TDS is right, dude. NACL truly is easier than ACL. As get back at Odd Orange, come over to ACL and get instantly dropped and finish 13th through 16th.
Could you argue like not, like all jokes aside, right? Like could you argue that I would argue that ACL technically is at least less predictable than the ACL.
Oh,
I feel
sure.
like
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily a vouch for its quality, but
No,
I
I'm
agree.
just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there, making sure it's known.
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. I would say it's certainly less predictable. That's why we didn't do predictions, at least not this heavily in the preseason. I guess we did power rank all the teams for seeding, but which is as close to predictions as you could really get, but nothing that we did on this show. Um, Yeah, I think the rest of the quadrants kind of go as expected. MSU take a game off Polestar. I think they deserve a shout out for that.
Yeah.
Costa takes a game off Aporia. Other than that, it's just upper seeds winning across the board. I don't know. Any of those matches stand out to you with the results in the round of 16?
Yeah, I wasn't really necessarily expecting a 2-0 with BlackRock Dorado.
Mm.
I know we didn't get to see the match, so I can't really say if it was one of those scenarios where it's like, yeah, like I just said, like, oh, game one was like whoever won the last team fight wins the game, and
Here, let's take a look.
Dorado lost. I mean, yeah, you could look quicker. I mean, if it, I wasn't, so that would maybe give onus to it, but if it was two lopsided wins for BlackRock, definitely not what I was expecting. Especially with, I'm starting to like ramp up my my takes on some of those Dorado gaming players. I think some of them are going to be kind of big threats in the summer. So if they kind of got blown out by BlackRock, then hats off to BlackRock. Not what I would have expected. That's it though. I mean, it's barely like it's not totally unexpected result.
Yeah, I don't. I'm thinking these results are not in here because the last BlackRock match I'm seeing is BlackRock versus Aporia, which I believe is a regular season matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Could be another match. It could happen again though.
could happen
With our
again.
top 9.
But that point aside, yeah, it is not looking like we have the playoff matches in the match history. So, yeah, that's not going to be here. Well, that'll make things easier for All-Star voting, but means that we can't find out exactly how that match went unless we go in and find the post-match thread.
Right.
Which we could do, but I'm not going to do right now on podcast. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know. I agree. I'm surprised that BlackRock didn't manage to take a game. Or, sorry, that Dorado didn't manage to take a game. BlackRock did take that 2-0. Now I'm too curious. Now I kind of want to go back and scroll up a little bit. Let me see what
Here,
I can find. I can cut this out if I must.
we just both start doom
Dorado
scrolling.
Gaming versus BlackRock. What have we got? What have we got? What have we got? Keep on scrolling up. BlackRock Esports versus Dorado Gaming. All right, first game. It is 16-6 in kills in 27 minutes. That's pretty one-sided. Game 2 is 19-5 in kills in 24 minutes. So these were not close.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I did not expect Dorado to get dog walked.
Yeah,
I can say that confidently.
Yeah, they did appear to get dog walked. They did have their full roster. They just Yeah, I don't know. Did not work out for them. Geiger played Udyr and Malphite. That seems weird for Geiger.
Oh, yeah. What the hell? Malphite or Geiger?
Malphite for
Okay.
Geiger in game 1 against Decoy's Gnar. Went 1-0-3. Was the best player on the team, actually, but was not enough.
All right. Well, touche to
Sushi has
BlackRock.
an 11-1-5 Vayne game in game number 2. Jesus, man.
Yeah, Sushi man is kind of a demon.
He's a dangerous player. Yeah. So, I mean, respect to him and respect to BlackRock, who I think are still kind of trying to overcome a little bit of stigma that's been hanging over
Yeah.
that team since they'd lost Robbie Bob and lost their first seed.
To be fair, they asked for the stigma. Kinda.
Yeah, maybe. Been a tough run for them, this split. So, very interesting to see how they're going to be able to continue to do in this bracket. As they do find themselves knocked back down. I guess we can talk about upper quarters round 2, and then we'll talk about lower bracket.
Yeah.
So upper quarters, for those who are not up to date, South Florida drops 2-0 to Team Fish Taco. Not a huge surprise there. Polestar Academy takes a 2-1 over Cerulean's Kittens, harming the Kitten Wars grand final narrative.
Harming, not killing.
Harming, but not killing. Correct. Clown Gaming takes a 2-1 over Aporia. That was in the featured match. And Abandoned Kittens take a 2-1 over BlackRock, keeping the Kitten Wars alive in the finals. So, yeah, I covered Clown Gaming versus Aporia. That was a fun match. It was very interesting talking to Rough Beans after, because Rough Beans, he came across like a little bit this way on the stream, but then also off stream. It's just like he is just like messing around here. He is like he has like no aspirations competitively, but he is just like rolling up styling on kids. I don't know. He like came out of nowhere this year, and he's like beating everybody. He even brought up, I think it was on stream. He was like, I asked him if there were any mid laners he was looking forward to facing, or maybe TDS asked him. I don't remember, and he was just like, nah, I think everybody here is super beatable. I mean, I remember when I was trying out, I was playing against Robbie Bob, and everybody told me this guy was a god, and I didn't think he was that good. It's like, this guy's...
Okay.
I don't know, dude. He's like so confident, and he's been like backing it up. He's been so good, but he appears to have like no aspirations to like come play in OQs or anything. I don't know. I hope he at least tries out OQs. I've been very impressed with him so far, and I hope he chooses to believe that means something, even though maybe it doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, those are always the fun interviews though with players who are just like, I'm getting the vibe that like he was like that's Flame, but it was like just so low key. Like he's just like you can like feel it was super fun. That was the vibe I got from Colthrow, but we'll talk about Colthrow and his team on the lower bracket side.
Fair.
I was scrolling the match results because I know we actually haven't got to watch any of the Kitten games in playoffs. I don't believe so.
Not on stream.
Not on stream. Yeah, and it looks like Ben and Kittens BlackRock Esports was kind of just a.
It was close.
These
are some long games.
Yeah,
41 minutes, 38 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just staring at Devin's KDs in these games, man. I'm gonna say it again. I mean, look at Slayer go again. Dude had a 15-6 Jinx game, and then 13-5-17 on Draven. What do we? That's
12-3-8 on Zeri. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he's playing at Sushi, which is a guy that we've been talking about a lot. This matchup must have been fun to watch because I think Zalt versus Samikin also is probably pretty fun, even though it looks like Samikin kind of Ari gapped Zalt in the final game.
Was that the final game or was that game 2?
It might be game 2. No, that's game 2.
Okay. Then it looks like the final game was fun. Zalt busted out the Xerath into his ear. It didn't seem like it worked out, but I appreciate going for it. Appreciate that Phantom Star got to play the Pyke.
Yeah, the Pyke. This game, wow. Playing Pyke Zeri is a call.
It's weird that that's not the first Pyke Zeri I've seen this season. I don't know what's up with people playing Pyke Zeri, but I got to see it in the combines too. I don't know if it's a real lane or what, but
I wonder what that draft was like, though. I mean, I'm assuming they're blue side, so they probably B1, and they might have B1 to 0, but it's either they B1 to 0 or Zeri.
yeah.
So I wonder if the counter, if it was a B1 Zeri, was okay. We'll just we'll pick an equal scaling bot lane. We'll just handshake it. We'll go Jinx Renata, and then Phantom Star's like, oh boy, do I have a little bit of a surprise for you, and picks the Pike, and they go a combined 21-5 as a bottom lane duo, which is what won them the game. That was the one side. Well, also Low Jazz went 7-0-10. I always hate when a game 3 is lopsided, though. This was 35-9 in kills.
Yeah. That's definitely not as close as it could be. Hang on, let me get these matchups to jog my memory for Clown Gaming versus Aporia. Clown Gaming Aporia was a fun series for sure. They get a little crazy with it in game number 2. They go Riven mid lane, Cho'Gath jungle, and Senna Brand bot lane.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
They give Rough Fiends like 4 kills on Riven very early, and it's like looking like it's going to work, and then it does not work. Legacy goes 15-2 on Aphelios, and they just
Oh.
have no way of reaching him. Like the Riven mid becomes very useless like instantly. Like they get to the first team fight, and he's just trying to dive the back line, and he's just getting one shot by Legacy on the Aphelios short race on the Lee Sin and Lawrence on the Twisted Fate. Yeah, and then Insanes gets to play a Kali that game. He does solidly as well. Oh yeah, Rapid goes Nashor's Tooth Rush Jungle Cho'Gath with Hail of Blades.
That's
Um,
crazy, man.
yeah, I mean, it was almost working. It was like working for like 10 minutes, and then it stopped working, and they lose that game. And then they come back and they play like more normal stuff in game number 3. Zev has a great Ezreal game. You would have loved it, Slayer.
Oh.
Rapid busts out the Amumu again. Rapid's Amumu's kind of nuts, dude. This is like the 3rd time he's played it in ACL, and it's undefeated. Keep an eye on Rapid's Amumu, dude. That pick's actually kind of nuts. He's so good on it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so that was a really fun series. I recommend going back and watching that one when it's on YouTube for anybody who hasn't seen it. Or, I mean, it's been short enough. It's still on Twitch past broadcasts too.
Yep.
Yeah, great series though. Definitely would recommend it.
And then the only other one,
Polestar Cerulean's Kittens is what we didn't talk
Ceruleans.
about that much.
Yeah, these games looked relatively close. Looks like forcing out a nutso Zeri game to keep the series alive. He went 9-1-3.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was a rough game for my brand as well, or series, because obviously you've been listening to ACL and me talking. Ceruleans are my champions, I think. Did we have? Yeah, I gave a prediction. I gave a champion prediction. So that's rough. But I also love Flaukon, and I think Flaukon should be on a big roster come next OQ, and Flaukon is on this Polestar one as well. It looks like game 3, a good old Lucian Nami brought him home, cracking on Viego as well. It was the longest game, but kills. This is whack. It was a 36-minute game, but it was 21-4 in kills.
That's crazy.
Yikes.
It took a while to close it out, but it seems like it was pretty one-sided then. Yeah, they ended with a 13k gold lead. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, for my prediction to make sense, one of the kids' teams had to go to lower brackets, so technically we're still on pace.
Cerulean's name is Shao Danny 99 in game right now, dude.
Yes.
Whoo. Okay, I'm gonna give a break on that for right now, but oh man.
Dude, I can't help but laugh. I'm sorry. I know it's like to cast it, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But I still, it is so funny, by the way, that it's the 2 kittens teams that are doing this.
Yeah.
As well. It's with Cerulean and Low Jazz.
Yeah.
It's funny to me. But lower bracket.
Lower
we could We can dive in a lower bracket where
Indeed, we can. Let's get into lower round 1. So
yeah.
we talked about UCI take a 2-1 over Maryville B team. Maryville has the unluckiest bracket draw in history. ACL greater than NACL, all that stuff. Zora Esports take a 2-0 over MSU.
All right.
Unfortunate for them, right? I think they had a really solid run in Zwan, but Zora ends up coming out on top. Good for Zora, coming out with a win as a 4th seed. Gravity takes a 2-0 over Kosa, which I think is impressive for Gravity as well, especially with those last-minute roster changes they went and did. And the Dorado take a 2-0 over Chaotic Solar. So that's going to end Chaotic Solar's journey. That is a shame to me. I like that Chaotic Solar team. Another player who really, I think, was popping off in those combines was J-Bear. I know he had some really solid performances and is currently looking for a team. I think he wants to make a jump up to one of those competitive, like, top 16 area rosters for summer,
Right.
and I think he definitely has the skill to do it.
Yeah, well, what we've learned is I think Dorado were angry.
True.
So they kind of might have just spanked them there. I do want to go back and talk about Zora. You talked about 4 seed winning.
Yep.
Shout out those boys. Don't worry, I won't mention Zora coach by name. Not allowed to do that apparently. But I know it's what I talked about when we went to the playoff preview. Is I'm looking at these matches, and I don't want to like discredit like the rest of the lanes, but it was Ninja Senpai and Sabusi, that Sabutsi, one of the two, that it really just gapped. This was a really good Jinx game for a 25-minute win. This is a really solid Zeri Nautilus game for a 33-minute win. Like 1-3-15 on Nautilus with 19 kills, 16 to 19 KP. That's a goated support. We unfortunately don't get to talk about them much longer. But that's good to see. Like that the bottom lane that was statistically looking very sharp in regular season showed up in a playoff game.
Yep. And this is then when we get into lower round 2, I'll just jump ahead to lower round 2, I think. Unless you have any other highlights from lower round 1. Lower round 2 is this is where we cut off for top 8, and this is where I think a lot of the teams that are like have a couple of standout players, but like, aren't. This is where the teams that aren't really contending to win the whole thing start to drop off, right?
Yeah.
And that's no shame to those squads. Congrats to everybody who's able to make it up here and like get top 12. Like top 12 is seriously a big deal as well. Zora Esports drops off here. Gravity drops off here as well. Carulian's Kittens able to take a 2-0 over there. Dorado Gaming take a 2-0 over South Florida, who perhaps made it a little further than expected because of a forfeit up on the top side.
Yeah.
But shout out to South Florida. I mean, they get a top 12 as well. You can't take that away from them. They got their forfeit win fair and square.
Wait. Are they the... Oh, wait, no. I was going to say, are the... They could potentially be tied for the furthest along collegiate team, depending on the final match of our.
And whether UCI wins or not, yeah.
Yeah, if they don't,
UCI drops to BlackRock, they're tied for the furthest of. They're tied with UCI.
All the collegiate teams.
And really, they should be considered ahead of UCI because they have the head-to-head.
True. That's a fair point.
It's facts. You can't deny that.
I will say though, Dorado, back to the Dorado run of Revenge Tour talk. Cast that series because but everyone at home, I cast that series with a TDS or no, sorry,
Jordan Bot, right?
Love Jordan Bot. Shout out Jordan Bot. And they won their games in 23 and 19 minutes. Dorado. So
cool. Maybe I could have done that without ruining my voice further, but I don't know. I think I made the right choice. Like just today, I started being able to talk long term without coughing, and I should be good to go for Friday. So
you should not have casted that series.
Oh man, yeah.
No. That reminds me of like when my throat flared up last May, like a year ago, because I was graduating college, so like I was going out to bars like double the amount that you would for that like 2 weeks. Then And I was yelling at these bars, being an idiot. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can cast best of 5 series in the middle of doing this." Lost my voice so bad on the road trip back home. I literally took vocal rest. I didn't talk for like 2 days
Yeah,
because it was so bad.
that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that Clown Gaming Emporia series was a mistake by me. That really. I went back. Funny enough, I went back to my old college town last weekend, right after doing that series. I was visiting my girlfriend's brother, and I could not talk that whole weekend there. I had to
Yep.
I had to stock up on some things. I just rolled up to the to talk to my girlfriend's brother. I'm like, hey man, I want you to know I'm not ignoring you, but I'm not gonna say very much this weekend. I'm gonna kind of just you two are gonna catch up together, and I'm gonna just sit here. I'm gonna eat my sandwich, and I'm gonna keep to myself mostly.
Yep.
You'll get some nods of approval occasionally, and
maybe a wig.
yeah,
Maybe
maybe
a
a
wig from there.
little thumbs up here and there. That's the most you're gonna get. Yeah, so rough times, rough times. You see what I do for you, Clown Gaming and Aporia.
Good old play-by-play based tangent right there for everybody at home.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what it's like when you talk too much. Um,
TDS could never relate. That's why Gromp can relate.
that's why Gromp. Yeah, that's why Gromp's here. Gromp never says shit. That's Gromp knows what it's like.
Gromp's always on vocal rest.
Yeah. All right. Well, so 3 of the 4 matches in lower round 2 have been played. We still don't know BlackRock versus UCI. Aporia takes a 2-0 over Zora, like we said. Cerulean's Kittens takes a 2 over Gravity. I think I already said this. And Dorado takes a 2-0 over University of South Florida. Yeah, I mean, props to Dorado. On a bit of a tear. 4-0 through the lower bracket. They will face a much tougher opponent in Cerulean's Kittens now, though, as they do fight for getting into those best of 5s. I think that'll be... No, I think that won't be our featured match. I think our featured match will be BlackRock UCI, winner of that, versus Aporia. But both are certainly going to be exciting matches. I think those could be really, really close. And those have like a lot on the line, too, because those get you into those fearless best of 5s, which is the point that everybody wants to reach, right? That's like the real skill test. And finishing top 6 is also where the money cutoff is now. We pay out to 6th place now. So
Okay.
those are also, if you want to profit from your time here in ACL, those are the matches that you got to win.
There you go. Yeah. I'm very interested in Cerulean's Kids Dorado Gaming for the obvious reasons here. But I do think
your prediction relies on it.
My prediction relies on it. I do think, now that we got this far, I can kind of talk about it. I do think, at least for me, you can tell me what you think about the Dorado Gaming squad. But I think Aj is the most impressive player. From what I've seen from Dorado Gaming, I really like his champ pool. He can play like your usual artillery mages really well, and then like he'll bust out like a Tristana mid to like throw you off, and they can lean on that in draft. He was absolutely deleting the USF mid laner playing Tristana mid, which I know it's not the hardest thing to do, but like I don't think too many people are confident to pick Tristana mid anymore in the meta as much as they used to. So that was cool. And then obviously my boy Xiao Danny is going to be playing against Aj, so I think mid lane will be fun to watch for that one for sure. But Aj is one of those guys that's like also if I'd watched Aj's games at the RTR Combine when we talked about earlier, I would have said like Aj is one of the guys that impressed me because
I was really impressed with Aj in OQs when this team was Castleberry. I have not seen like any Aj footage since then, to be honest. So I'm a little probably out of date on him as somebody who hadn't seen a lot of him before and was impressed with him when I saw him. But I'm excited to see more for that reason. Out of the players on the team right now, I'd say Geiger kind of stands out to me a little bit more from like OQ times, or not OQ, from running the Rift combines and stuff. Like I think Geiger, when I had to see him in the combine, I think he did very, very well. I think he stood out to me a lot as especially as like a carry top player. I think he's one of those guys to keep an eye on as somebody who can be really, really dangerous on the carries. And I think that complements a duo like Nightstar and Barlow really well, where Nightstar can kind of play his scaling picks and do really well. Or I guess Colthrow, if Colthrow ends up playing with them at times as well.
It'll be interesting to see what AD carry Ceruleans run. At least last week they ran Forsen, but Enthralled is technically their starter. Huh. It is funny though that it is funny how many they also have Mixture on the roster, which is
Hmm.
funny. So we'll see. We'll see who they plug and play for that one.
Yeah, that's
I'm
interesting.
I'm confident in Ceruleans kind of keeping their head purely because they have Frost Forest as a player, which means his coachability, him as a coach. Like, I'm sure those comms don't get hectic, and I'm sure he's very good at helping prevent tilt
Hmm.
because a guy like Frost Forest is playing with everybody else.
For sure. Yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Uh, and then yeah, Aporia versus BlackRock or UCI would also be very interesting. I'm pretty high on the Aporia team. I think they're very good, and that's why I think Clown Gaming is really really good. I think that's what that
I
tells
think
me.
they are.
Having watched 2 more games of Clown Gaming, like these guys lost game 2 to Aporia playing unseriously. Like they are just doing stupid garbage for no
Yeah,
reason.
they're just
And
having fun.
they're just out here vibing and they're just crushing kids. Like I don't like the Cryogen's been like playing more of the Rumble bot and stuff, and it's like he is just wrecking fools on that Rumble bot.
It's
Like
so fun.
it is so hard to beat him and Zev in lane when he's playing this kind of wacky stuff. And he will play this kind of wacky stuff, right? Like they had an Ashe Ezreal lane as well, and that was super dangerous. Like Rapid plays all this weird stuff. He's really dangerous on it. He got to play his Pantheon jungle again in game 1. Was a menace on that. Got to play that Amumu in game number 3. Was a menace on that. And I know this is not the teams that we're talking about right now. We already talked about Clown Gaming. But my point being, right, that I think Aporia is also like a top team here. Like I could see like an Aporia Clown Gaming final, potentially. And so like I think they'll be favorites against UCI or BlackRock. Is my point here. Like I think this Aporia team is quite good and has like really, yeah, I don't know. They've just done very very well. Like they lost week 1 to BlackRock to go 5-1, and that's why they're the second seed. But they like have not really. They've only dropped to Clown Gaming since then. And if they get that rematch against BlackRock, I wonder if it'd go the same way. I don't think it would. I think Aporia would have it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to make takes back in this series because we don't know it's a top 9 situation.
Yeah, we don't even
Gonna
know who
make
they're
the
up against. My
yeah,
point
gonna
being,
make
I think regardless of who wins, though, I think if it's BlackRock or if it's UCI, I think I'm going to be picking Aporia to win.
I would pick Aboria as well, so that's fair. I'm just always curious if UCI did the UCI thing yet, or if they're going to be proving the years old doubt wrong
Yeah.
here. So we won't know the results. You guys obviously will. I guess that just leaves upper semis to talk about?
Well, like we could preview them. Yeah, we already know who the upper semis are going to be. Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, first it's going to be Team Fish Taco versus Polestar Academy.
Should be fun.
It should be fun. I like. It's so weird, right? Because we talked about which Team Fish Taco are we going to get. Is 2-0ing Maryville B team the evidence you needed that it's the good Team Fish Taco? Or is that not enough for you? Because they 2-0'd South Florida, but like South Florida,
Yeah.
no hate to South Florida, but it's like not like an upper quarters team, Like I did not.
Yeah.
I don't think it tells us much that Team Fish Taco beat them. So we have, 2 weeks ago, Team Fish Taco 2-0'd Maryville B team. Is that enough for you to say like, oh, TFT's back? Because I don't know if it is for me.
No, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I think Polestar win this series. So I don't.
Okay.
I like Polestar Academy a lot right now. They beat.
That's a hot take, but I might. Maybe you could recruit me.
I don't know because like Team Fish Taco are prone to collapses as well. Like,
Yep.
it could happen.
I am higher on a B than I was pre-combines. A B impressed me.
I like Flaucon a lot, so I'm not going to pick against Flaucon. Well, I know he is going into Sudsy, so this will
Yeah,
be
I
a
was
fun
gonna
test for
say it's in a
Flaucon.
Sudsy. That's tough.
Yeah, it'll be
And then
test.
like Diesel versus Tony Top, I could see being a problem too.
Yes, but Tony Top could also just Tony Top throw his entire top lane.
He can.
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, Gito's been playing pretty good in place of Snow, so. But it's good to have the coach in the comms, like I said. I don't know. I think it goes 3, and maybe my biases are leaning me towards Polestar.
I can see that. I think I would still pick Team Fish Taco. I don't think I'm that far gone. But I wouldn't be blown away if Polestar managed to pull it out. And then there's Clown Gaming versus Abandoned Kittens, which
That's going to be so fun.
that's going to be a banger. That could be a finals preview.
Well, this will also be the test of is Rough Beans' flame like actually valid, because he's going to play arguably the best mid laner in the ACL. So
Yes.
actually, I don't think it's arguably. By the way, whoops, my bad. Is the best mid laner in the ACL.
Yeah, it's him or Sudsy, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I give.
I mean, or it's
or
it's Rough Beans, or Rough Beans
or it's Rough
comes
Beans,
out
right?
and-
Yeah. So yeah. Here you go.
Yeah. Or I mean, here's the other funny thing: he played like 2 games of mid lane, all split, but maybe it's Kachu. Maryville B team 80 carry Kachu
Yeah,
could be the
right?
best mid laner too.
No, that yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of mid laners in our DMs for disrespecting him with this bit, but yeah, I don't know. It's like I agree. He's. I mean, Samakin's definitely. I guess there's a very strong case for Samakin to be the best.
Yeah, very strong.
There's
Yeah,
a very
I think
strong
so.
case.
I think the edge that you always give a Samkin is his champ pool. To be honest with you, I mean he's
fair.
gonna draw a Zoe Ben every time, and then he can always pull out a pocket pick Lux that seemingly he makes work with no matter who he's playing, what champ he's playing against, and what the comp around him is. I've quite literally said on this podcast, I watched Samakin pick Lux in a game I thought was an id pick, and he won it,
Yep.
and he like
He's
railed
very, very good
on it. So
I'm just saying, Sudsy's accomplished what Samakin has just accomplished twice as many times.
yes, that's very valid. That's very valid. Sudsy, you can flame the shit out of me. Like I am wrong all the time. I am here to eat crows, eat shoes, whatever the saying.
Well, I mean
is.
that would be an awesome Winterside final too. If we got it.
Yeah.
Awesome Winterside final could be between those two. The mid laners have gotten real lit now that we're in the top 4 of the Winterside. That's going to be a lot of good mid laners up there. Yeah, jeez, it's so hard to predict against Abandoned Kittens, but I do think everybody on Clown Gaming, and it's so crazy because they also brought up they're like not really scrimming.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of off season for everybody. I think very few people are scrimming a lot.
I don't think Abandoned Kids is scrimming a lot either, to be honest with you.
I don't think anybody really is at this stage, except for like maybe Maryville B team was. Maybe the collegiate teams are. UCI Varsity should be scrimming because UCI Varsity has a CLOL tournament coming up to play in. But other than that, I think very few teams are, and like anybody who has collegiate members on it are like those guys are all playing with their collegiate teams. That may include Samakin, to be fair. Samakin's team got voted in.
Yeah, actually, Samakin has
CLOL
definitely been scrimming a lot. Yeah.
Well, but not with this team probably. He's been
yeah.
But he's been scrimming.
I know Ceruleans have not
his
been
Boston
either,
boys. So. I think his hope is Devin. Devin's on a CLOL team. Did they make top 32?
Yes. Oh no, I don't think so. Hold on, I'll find
this out pretty quickly. He's on Converse. Converse is in.
Oh, Converse, right, dude.
Yeah, they're playing Northwood in round 1, so he's got CLOL to think about too.
That's Enthralled versus Devin. That's fun.
That's
fun. Please go fund the salty Runback thing so we can watch Enthralled
so that we can stream that game
in the first round. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway, not to get too. There's plenty of players who are getting ready for CLOL and stuff, so not a lot of teams are scrimming a lot. But it's like everybody. Anyway, my point was everybody on Clown Gaming is playing very, very well right now. Like Cryogen and Zev have been very, very good together. They've played together for a long time. Like Rapid and Boil the Oil are like firing on all cylinders, even as players that have like been around for a bit. Like we have Boil the Oil and ACL every split, but I think he's looking real good right now.
Yep.
Had a real impressive Cassante game for us, if I remember correctly. So this will be a game. This is gonna be. I think this is probably like this is gonna be a lit game. I really actually wish we could stream this one.
You already know where I'm predicting, though. I mean, you know what I have to predict.
You're gonna predict the Bandit Kittens, yeah.
Yeah. This should be fun though, because it sounds like we're both gonna have a different upper bracket final, like completely different.
Yeah, am I?
It sounds like you're going.
It
Tony
sounds
Top
like
Clown
I want to
Gaming,
go Clown Gaming, doesn't it?
or Fish Taco Clown Gaming.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't hate it, by the way. I love both of these teams and a lot of these players.
I think I might go Clown Gaming. Yeah, I mean, it's like I have to be like, if I'm betting on Abandoned Kittens, like I agree, I'm really impressed with Devin and Samakin. Like it's got to be on the backs of Devin and Samakin.
I think Famstar also gets.
I think Phantom Star is really good too, but I'm like such a big fan of Cryogen as well. Like I think it's
they're two supports.
It depends on what their matchups are. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, I think I go with Clown Gaming. I think they got enough weird stuff in the tank.
That's so. I'm not going to dispute you and say this isn't valid. I'm quite literally splitting hairs because my prediction was Kitten War that I'm picking the Abandoned Kittens. Like, if that wasn't a reality, I might not even predict. Like, that's how hard
it's
this
so.
would be for me.
I didn't know that was an option, so I'm gonna go with Clown Gaming.
It's not.
Yeah. That's gonna be lit though. Yeah, this is gonna be a bunch of fun. I'm looking forward to coming back next week and talking about how these matches went. Yep. But
Gromp, who do you think is gonna win the series?
He's resting his voice.
Right. Sorry, my bad, Gromp.
All right. Well, I mean that's about all we got for ACL. I mean we filled a full hour with this. I think that's pretty good, all said and done. Shout out to everybody who's tuned on in. It's been a real fun season. We'll keep coming back for more ACL updates. So we'll have 2 more rounds next time. We'll be gearing up for upper finals, and we'll be gearing up for lower semis next time we're back. So I think next time we're back, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be almost time for grand finals. We'll have 2 more episodes until it's grand finals time. So.
And then by the time that's all wrapped up, we're probably right in tune to get a preseason primer.
Yeah, we'll be in like the middle of MSI, so I think we'll have a little bit of time. We'll have a couple of weeks off. I think. Yeah, MSI. I think MSI will have like just started, right? MSI. Yeah, it starts. It'll be like in the middle of MSI. It'll be 5:10 when we're done, and then MSI ends 5:19.
This is a total end of that tangent. Are you? I don't want to say I'm less interested in MSI, but are you like less or more tuned out from MSI because how much stuff is going on for like us at best level of North American?
A little bit, but it's like I don't know. I don't think I'm not missing anything right now.
I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, like I'll watch it when it's on. I'll get into it once it starts. I think.
Okay, that's fair.
I agree. I'm not like I'm not like getting all excited about it and stuff, but. I think I will be excited once like the promo videos start dropping and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys are getting excited for ACL and for MSI and for any other League of Legends coming up in the future. And for CLOL, of course, for CLOL. Yeah, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Salt Mine. Remember to go and support Salty Runback in their streaming of CLOL. Remember to come check out Aegis. We'll be live. Today is Friday if you're watching this, so we'll be live tonight. Check the Discord for the featured matchup. And be live on Monday as well, and then we'll be back with another episode next week. That'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. Good seeing everybody, and peace out.